Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and today we're bringing you a first look at Tier 10 Premium European Destroyer. This is Ragnar. Now, if you remember, up until quite recently, maybe about 6 months ago or so, there was a nifty little European destroyer available at Tier 10 Premium in the game, and that was Småland. Småland, if memory serves, was available for 2 million free XP. But earlier, towards the beginning of this year, she was removed from sale. She was very popular for understandable reasons. She was a great little package of a punishing anti-aircraft suite, really good main battery, quick-firing torpedoes, and then, of course, she had that 7.5-kilometer radar that allowed her to bully other destroyers in and around cap circles. Ragnar here, seemingly, has been tapped as her replacement. Ragnar will soon be entering the game with the release of patch 10.7, available for 27,000 steel out of the armory. But Ragnar is a very different animal than Småland. She does bring the 7.5-kilometer radar, that's true, but that is about where the similarities end. Ragnar is almost more accurately a little light cruiser, very much in the vein of what you're used to seeing out of, say, Kleber or Morceau, or even the new German Elbing, right? Very much kind of a second-line destroyer that provides additional firepower to potentially a destroyer, someone playing in front of her. She has a main battery comprised of a single turret fore and aft. You see the guns firing here. These are 152mm guns. These are 6-inch guns on a 3-second base reload. These guns are really, really filthy. And she works really well, right, when she's got friends around. Watch what's going to happen to this Marceau between the Venezia and I, right? The Venezia is off to my, well, he's off to my stern now. He was off to my starboard side a moment ago. But between he and I, we are going to absolutely ruin this poor Marceau's day. We are going to get him here in a moment as he ducks behind the island, and there he goes.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
Ragnar is really, at her core, she is a cap circle bully in a way that most destroyers are not used to seeing, outside of, again, like we mentioned, maybe Marceau or Kleber. So, the way you're going to play this ship, right, you're going to want to hang back off cap circles until, like this one in front of me, you see someone is lurking in here. Now, she's not the stealthiest thing on the surface, but her detection bubble matches her radar bubble. So, if she's spotted on the surface, she can push her fancy little I see you button and reveal who it is that's spotting her. We're about to do that here to this poor gearing on the top end of the cap as we go in, as we light into him with my 2-point-whatever second reloading 6-inch HE shells. This guy is going to take some damage from me. The Venezia is going to come in with a good salvo. The team is really doing the lion's share of the work here, but look at that. In only about 15 seconds or so between me and a couple other ships, we took away half that guy's HP. Now, some of that is because Tier 10, right? Tier 10 is punishing. But some of that is because I'm here able to spot him, able to get some chunk damage in, and my teammates show up to help. Now, something else you're going to learn to like about Ragnar's main battery is it has an 11% fire chance on these shells. Again, as noted on with reload booster, about a 2.5-second reload. This will lead to copious quantities of fires against the right targets. Against high-tier battleships, hit or miss, right? Remember, battleships have the highest fire-resistant coefficients in the game. But against a typical supercruiser, like, say, this Moskva over here, I can absolutely really have fun with this dude. Surprisingly, this Moskva's not really even shooting at me. As the gearing off to my starboard side has turned around and come back, he starts shooting me. Now, let's talk about his mistake, okay? When you are fighting a Ragnar in another destroyer, you have to remember that Ragnar, like Elbing, does not have 16 or 19 millimeters of armor through her midsection. She has 25 millimeters of armor. That means if you are a 5-inch armed destroyer, like that gearing, your shells will absolutely shatter on this ship. He'll laugh at you. You won't really be able to do anything to him, okay? Moskva, I've finally made him mad, because I've just been plinking away. He is firing AP. Not a bad call. He's getting probably over pins there, because again, I only have 25 millimeters of armor. But you see, this gearing is just wasting his time, largely just throwing shells at me, not really getting a whole lot out of them. And now finally, after several minutes of sustained combat, I'm going to use my first heal, because yes, she comes with a heal. One thing I want to point out, Ragnar here starts with 30,000 hit points for a destroyer. Now, this is not best in tier because Elbing exists, but just like Elbing, we're getting up towards, Smolensk levels of health here. You really, really are almost a light cruiser. And I say almost with kind of a wink and a notch, because it's really not almost. You really are a light cruiser. Supposing Gearing in front of me has chosen poorly. He's chosen to go toe-to-toe with a Des Moines at literally point-blank range. And, well, that's just not going to end well for him. And just like that, in less than 6 minutes, I have wiped out 2 Tier 10 destroyers in this match. Now, again, I've done that with the help of my teammates. But Ragnar absolutely has all the tools to contribute to that fight, to make a meaningful contribution to that fight, because, well, the radar, the stealth, and the quick-firing guns. Now, what else does this ship have going for it? Well, let's talk about a couple other things. If you're used to playing Smolensk or many European destroyers, you're used to having really, really punishing anti-aircraft suites. Notably, I should say, the outer bubble, right? Most Smolensk and her tech tree cousin Holland, for example, put up a ton of flak. Their outer bubble is incredibly mean. It's basically almost a no-fly zone for the opposing carrier. Ragnar here does not suffer this problem. She does have a very good anti-aircraft suite. However, it does not start until the middle ring. So, Ragnar is a ship that at long range, her aura is not very good. She puts up a little bit of DPS, a little bit of flak. It's not amazing. But once the planes are in middle range, in other words, once she's actually spotted by planes, turn your AA on, let it chug away, do good work. You will see things die. And you'll see that if you watch. There's the opposing FDR in this game, of course. I'm not going to get a ton of plane kills off that guy, but you'll see me doing 300, 400, 500 damage a tick to those planes, because that's how punishing the middle ring of Ragnar is. The other thing I want to talk about is her engine boost. That is not a traditional engine boost. That is the same little emergency engine power short-ranged version that Smolensk had, that allowed Smolensk for a very short amount of time to go incredibly fast. Ragnar has the exact same thing. Ragnar is not ordinarily all that fast on the surface. You see here with a speed flag, full speed, straight line, I'm about to creep up towards about 36 knots or so. That's not bad. It's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not amazing. However, when you push that button, she gets a 30% bonus to her speed for a short duration. I think it's 60 seconds. That can be an impactful 60 seconds if you save and use that button for the right time. And of course, we've talked about the heal and the 7-kilometer radar. With my team having secured the entire western flank, I decided it's time to go up here in Cap A. This is a bit cheeky here. I'm trying to kind of get some fires on this Thunder. I know how soft his top sides and upper belt are. But one thing that I've forgotten is I'm pretty sure I didn't take IFHE on this ship. Maybe I did, but I don't believe that I did. I believe I took the range mod, probably either that or Fearless Brawler or something, instead of IFHE. So it does mean that while I'm able to hit the Thunderer with relative ease, I'm not really getting pens, and for whatever reason I'm not getting fires, because the man is still a battleship. You see there, I wait until the planes come into the middle ring, then I turn the AA on. This Roosevelt strike is not meant for me. He's actually going for the Des Moines astern of me, but we do get some good plane kills on the way in. Between me, the Holland, and the Des Moines, the FDR plays dearly for a strike that he rarely gets anything out of. In fact, I'm not sure he lands a single torpedo. Nope, he doesn't. So we're going to sit here in Cap. Now, positionally, the game is not amazing. There's still a Napoli off to our north, which I'm not a huge fan of. And the enemy team pretty much owns the entire eastern flank, while we kind of own the west and are moving into the middle of the board. But what have we found in front of us? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the opposing carrier is right there, right for the taking. And the Holland and the Des Moines are all over it. You see the Des Moines there swapping to the AP. He's going to be trying for those Citadels, at a minimum getting good full pens. And I'm going to be trying to light fires on this guy, because I've got an 11% fire chance going down range every few seconds. Most of my shells will probably shatter on his deck. I am getting some pens here and there. You can see that. But of course, the FDR is maneuvering now. Getting these to kind of plunge into the right portion of the ship is a little more challenging, especially as in a moment they'll start to land on the deck and not so much kind of the upper flight deck, or I'm sorry, the upper hangar deck or so. Team's playing quite well. We've got a nice ship lead here. 2-ship lead. Planes are still coming back. I've left my AA on here basically to help the Des Moines out. He's kind of really the focus target here because he is the thing over here that can hurt this Roosevelt the most, but I haven't given up. I know that if I can get a fire on this guy, that 5 seconds damage can be fairly meaningful, so I'm still angling for that fire. Getting lots and lots of shatters now that they're landing on the flight deck. A few of them going into the superstructure. The island works. That helps a little bit. Those come out as full pins. We are going to lose sight of him here in just a moment as I go behind the island. So a couple more salvos, and then unfortunately, he does manage to sneak away. But not before I get a few more salvos down range. Over a 300-point lead here, only 11 minutes into this game. Oh, we get a fire. There it is. That last second fire ticks him out, and he is off the board. That always feels good, doesn't it? Now, a friendly Des Moines is going to have given his life for this kill, unfortunately. But that's okay. We still got a decent lead. I'm going to start harassing this Thunder, give him something else to think about. He's going to turn and take a shot at me, but I can joggle my throttle here. Plus, I've got a little bit of island cover. Pop my fancy speed boost, and we will jet out of this salvo. It will all fall astern. Opposing Roosevelt's decided he's had enough of my garbage, so fine. I do some maneuvering, trying to head back in. I should have turned my AA off here. This is a mistake. I should not have had my AA on to give him all the time in the world to set this strike up. At the end of the day, he doesn't hit me that hard. 2 or 3k damage. I've still got a couple of heal charges. It's really the Napoli shells that follow it up that actually do make an impact here. I take a fire. And again, I'm leaving my AA on here. This is a mistake. Once his attack run was over, I should have turned the AA off. There's no reason for me to continue to give the Napoli these shots by lighting myself up with my AA on, but I guess I was feeling cheeky. I won't pretend I know what my thought process was right at this moment, but in any event, game's coming together quite nicely. 4-ship lead. We're down to just the Napoli, who's isolated on the B line, not very impactful, and the opposing Minotaur, who's lurking somewhere around the decap. We're going to go over and try to spot him in a moment. So here we are, 100,000 damage into this game. A few nice kills along the way. Couple of tier 10 destroyers. The opposing carrier still got about half my HP or so, and 2 more heals in the bank plus radar. Ragnar is not a replacement for Småland in the traditional sense, and this is an important thing. If you're interested in this ship, you need to understand what you're getting into. Ragnar really does play a little more like Friesland. It's almost like you took a Småland and a Friesland and you smashed them together, because Ragnar is an all-gun destroyer. She has no torpedoes, just like a Friesland. She is a bit of a destroyer bully. Friesland can fulfill this role as well with her hydro and smoke combo in certain situations. Ragnar does it better. She has higher caliber guns with I won't say a better rate of fire, but with a punishing rate of fire, and she has a longer detection button with that 7.5 kilometer radar. Of course, Friesland's hydro limited to 5 kilometers. But she is a high tier destroyer, right? So she takes the place of Småland, but she offers something very different than Småland. And I think it's going to take players some time to kind of adapt to this ship. Opposing destroyers are going to have to learn to fire AP at this ship when she's broadside on. And honestly, even at an angle, like once you angle a Ragnar, an opposing destroyer, you angle it well, he's really not going to be able to do much to you. He's really going to struggle. His AP, you're going to probably bounce his AP, and his HE is going to shatter unless he manages to get hits into your superstructure or into your bow or your stern. I like Ragnar. Is she worth 27,000 steel? That's up to you, right? Like everybody values steel differently, because some people invest a ton of time to sit on and accrue lots of steel, and some people don't. I'll caveat the whole thing by saying, if you enjoy Friesland, I think you will enjoy Ragnar. They are similar, they are different, but there are some similarities because, as I was noting, it's an all-gun destroyer and all that sort of thing. So the play style is similar, even though you have a different set of tools to deploy in a match, and you are an incredible bully against opposing destroyers in a way that, honestly, I sometimes feel like Elbing wishes she could be. In the meantime, guys, that wraps this up. Hope you enjoyed that little kind of, I won't call it a review of Ragnar, but certainly a look over the ship in her release state. In the meantime, wash your hands, be safe. I will catch you next time.